Hey guys, I just wanted to go over a few markets. Pretty interesting day. I mean, just when we think the market's not really going to go anywhere, it looks like things are really starting to pick up in Europe. So, I mean, I've been saying for years that, I mean, for, us Americans in the US, to me this feels a little bit like 2007. I'm sure if you're a European, it probably feels more like the beginning of 2008 or the middle of 2008. I mean, European equity stock markets are, some of them are cut in half already, and it looks like Deutsche, this may be the start of a bank run. I mean, when you have major hedge funds pulling money out, and I've been saying for a couple of years that Deutsche is probably going to be the focal point in Europe, and maybe it's the next Lehman, and that was 2 years ago. And the U.S. media is always very perma bullish, so everything's fine, and we don't really pay attention to what's going on over there. But it seems like now, finally, we kind of talked about when you get back from the summer, everybody has to come back, long European vacations, and now you have to deal with this banking crisis, and it's a real issue. I mean, so Merkel doesn't want to support the bank. I think she's going to have to. And so we'll see how ugly it gets before she decides that you can't you can't do a bail-in because she's probably gonna have to. I mean, she's definitely gonna probably have to back away from that. But we'll see. So it seems like that was what moved us back lower. If we step back, and just kind of look at the forest, the U.S. market really hasn't gone anywhere. But at the same time, we keep making lower highs. So when you look at the intraday move, it seems like a lot, right? We failed at 21.72, 73. We covered stuff well down here, right? Sold up here, covered down here, and then I'm just kind of trading around small because I wanted to see, we got to get out of this wedge to see where the next move is. If you look at the dollar, a lot of markets are just very quiet right now. Almost to me, it just feels like a calm before a storm. So I don't know. We'll see if this. I mean, the VIX certainly picked up today, which I expected to see a lot earlier, and I expect to see some more sustained moves like that. So, and I was a little bit worried that maybe going into November we're just going to go sideways. But I think this weekend's going to be a little bit more interesting than that. So don't expect tomorrow to be a quiet day. I think there's going to be a lot of people trying to figure out where their money and their risk is going into the weekend, especially trying to figure out what their exposure is to Deutsche Bank. So we popped up, sold a little, covered it. Now we're back here on this trend line. But if we look at the daily, all right, the key is that we made another lower high relative to the high we made, earlier in the week, or last week. Double top, really triple top, 2190, right? Lower high, lower high. We break this lower trend, this upward trend line. I think we're going to test 2100 and probably 2060. I think that's really where the market wants to go. All right, the weekly cycle's up. Daily, I consider this still down, and it's only about halfway. Percent D is 53. A lot of room back to the lows, which should put, again, I think the market to 2100. All right. So we'll see if the market's overall focus is no longer about the Fed, but the real problems in Europe and the overall global economy. If we look at the dollar, it didn't do much. Still very much sitting in a sideways, quiet range trade. So this to me is just really just coiling, waiting to figure out what the next move is. I think it's to 98 or 93. But I'm gonna still kind of lean towards higher prices. I mean, geez, you have a bank run, dollar's going to be strong. I think dollar's really going to be strong unless the Fed wants to step in and play World Bank. Well, it's tough to guess that. We don't need to do that. Right now that range hasn't moved. Okay, gold, same thing, quiet, sideways. Treasury market, it's pretty well bid. So if we get more of this afternoon, look for this market to rally a lot higher, especially, I mean, you have a lot of bad shorts in this market, I keep saying. When you have headline news that all the big shots are short, and they're short from the lows, this thing, man, you throw in a little bit of a bank run, my goodness, rates could be, we could be back here at, we could go points in the long end. You could see 2-3 point rally pretty easily. So we want to stay long there, and I did take some profits today, yeah. Kind of wish I was longer now. If we get through pi here, I may take off these 5s that I'm short against my long and just let a 30-year run, because we're kind of bumping up against the top end of the range. So if this breaks out, then I probably just cut my 5-year risk and try to pick up some alpha being long 30s. And I actually did not short ultras at pi. I saw it here at pi yesterday, didn't do anything, and then kind of glad I didn't. So this is a real money candle. This can go a lot higher. So that's what I think is interesting as far as the overall market. And then I will say in currencies, there's a little bit of an interesting move here I thought I could teach on real quickly, because I know a lot of people follow me on the pound yen. And okay, so this is the daily chart. You can see this 8 is the green line. Alright, 8-period moving average. This started to curl up right here and was actually looking pretty bullish on the hourly today. And I actually took off my short. It was a small short and I went long. Okay, and then I actually flipped today and went back short. And the reason being is here we were in a downtrend, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and then we started to get above this high. Alright, I was playing a short, came in to the market higher. Alright, so this is tiny for me. I mean, if I like to play this with $1 million core short when I'm swing trading, so this is literally 1/10 of the size. Just trying to figure out which way to lean. Came in higher, stopped. This was bullish. Okay, all these bands are starting to turn up, and granted that pi is right here, but this is an hourly chart, and I just said, alright, well, this is all bullish. I'm going to go with this to see if we can squeeze higher based on the daily, and got long. Okay, and then if we look at the 4-hour, I had a couple traders, and one of them is a coaching client of mine, sharp guy, he's really doing well, and he said, you know, I'm going to stay short because we're back here at lower highs on the 4-hour. And I agreed with him that you're right, we're kind of right at these lower highs, the TMS hadn't changed, and so that was the pivot. It was either we break above, you either fail here or we break back to 134. And I just decided based on this candle, which was very bullish, I call that a real money candle, I wanted to stay long. Sure enough, he was right, failed right there, made lower highs, so I reversed. I stopped and reversed and went short again. So I actually got whipped around a little bit today. Short, stopped, long, stopped, now I'm back short. And I'm going to stay with this trend. Alright, and we can see it on the hourly. Pi seems to be dominating. Couldn't hold these lows. Alright, so I went back short, and again it's small. When you get kind of, you short, you stop, you flip, these are smaller positions. So from here, if we get any kind of bounce back, as long as we're below these lows, I'm going to get more aggressive and actually build up some real size here and see if we can get some follow through. And then when you look at the daily, whoops, you have a little topping tail here. So I want to see this 8 continue lower. So this is going to be the key pivot. Call it 132.5, guys. All right, for those of you who are following along with me on pound yen. All right, guys, for those of you new, visit jenkinsrm.com. RM's risk management, and it's free to join our trading room, our 24/7 chat room. And then, I mean, we're trading everything on every time frame. Day trading, forex. I'm starting a live room that we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All right, from 9 to 11. That's going to end up being a paid room. You can jump in there. I forget what my marketing guys have set up. Probably 1 or 2 days for free. But yeah, but just join the chat room. You know, we're just trying to build a network and a team. And then if you want to pay for the real-time alerts, if you want to jump in on the live trading, if you want to do coaching sessions, I mean, I'm offering all those different services. And you can figure out what works for you down the road. But just sign up, join the team, and yeah, I guess we'll talk to you guys in the morning. I think tomorrow's going to be interesting. This weekend, I mean, I only can imagine Merkel's got to be sweating it. You know, who knows what's going through her head. So Europe's such a disaster. So I think the vol's going to pick up, and it should be an interesting next few months. That's for damn sure. All right, guys, we'll talk to you in the morning. Have a great rest of your night.